I never should have gone into that bunker. The order sounded simple enough at first. Investigate an SOS beacon that had reactivated in the northern range. The coordinates pointed to an old Cold War installation, sealed and abandoned since 1974. For 50 years it had been silent. Nothing but dead steel and concrete buried in the belly of a mountain. Then, without warning, a week ago it started pulsing again. The exact same distress signal. The exact same coded sequence. It shouldn't have been possible, which is exactly why they sent us. The helicopter ride out was brutal. The storm hammered the fuselage so hard it sounded like incoming fire. Reeves, our captain, sat calm and steady, like he was carved from stone. Morales grinned at nothing, flipping his knife between restless fingers. Hayes muttered into the comms unit, always fiddling like he could tune the world into order. Keller clutched his medic bag tight, as if it might keep him afloat. And me? I wasn't even a soldier. I was the historian, the tag-along expert, dragged out here to explain the bones of the past. When we landed, the storm howled across the plateau, tearing at our suits and visors. The beacon pulsed above a pair of steel doors set into the cliffside, glowing faint red against the rain. A heartbeat, a warning. We forced the locks, and when the doors finally groaned open, the mountain exhaled. Cold, stale air poured out, thick with rot, thick with chemicals. We switched on our lights, sealed our masks, and stepped inside. The silence swallowed us immediately. The corridors stretched ahead, long and empty. Paint peeled from the walls. Pipes dripped into rusted buckets. The first rooms we checked were lined with rotted bunks and overturned lockers. Everything felt abandoned, yet somehow disturbed, like we had walked into a tomb that wasn't quite finished. In the control room, dust coated every surface. Still, Hayes coaxed power back into the machines, and one by one, the monitors flickered to life. Most showed empty halls and storerooms. One did not. On the grainy feed, a figure moved. Broad-shouldered, slow. The timestamp read, October 1974. None of us spoke. None of us wanted to. Reeves simply ordered us to keep moving. The mess hall was worse. Food trays sat where they had been abandoned decades ago. Most were sludge, rotten and collapsed. But one plate looked fresh. A hunk of bread torn in half, meat still red, crumbs scattered like someone had just been eating. We didn't touch it. We didn't even breathe too close. Then came the medical wing. Cots lined the room, each with restraints still buckled. Cabinets of vials stood cloudy with time, straps stained dark with what we didn't want to name. We found files stuffed into drawers, filled with notes about subjects and responses and terminations. The photographs showed men strapped into chairs, mouths forced open, eyes wide with terror. Soldiers turned into experiments. That was when I heard it for the first time. A whisper, soft, close, curling against the inside of my skull. It said my name, Carter. I told no one. We pressed on, deeper, down stairwells slick with condensation. The barracks on the lower level looked like a riot had torn through, sheets twisted, lockers overturned. And one bunk wasn't empty. A soldier lay strapped down, his skin gray and stretched tight. His chest rose and fell. Keller ran forward, instinct, training. But the moment he touched the body, its eyes snapped open. White, pupilless. The scream that ripped out wasn't human. It shook the lights until they flickered overhead. Reeves fired 2 bursts into its chest. The body slumped, twitched, and went still. The silence that followed was worse than the scream. None of us said it out loud, but we all knew. That wasn't the only one. The archives held more secrets. Shelves sagged under files stamped Project Vigilant. More photos. More horrors. Men wired into chairs, eyes glassy, mouths locked open mid-scream. That was when the footsteps came. Slow, deliberate. Not ours. A shadow peeled itself from the end of the aisle. Tall, wrong, and then gone. But the whisper lingered. My name again. Only mine. We were fracturing now. Keller pale and shaking. Hayes muttering under his breath. Morales trying to grin, but the grin had no teeth. And Reeves. Reeves was still calm. Too calm. Pushing us forward, always deeper. Until we reached the chamber. Tanks lined the walls. Dozens of them. Fluid black with time. Shapes floated inside, half-formed, half-rotted. Eyes opened as our lights touched them. The whisper became a chorus then. Dozens of voices, inside and outside, curling under our helmets, into our ears, into our veins. Not just my name anymore. All of us. Hayes Keller. Morales. Reeves. Keller broke first. He screamed, dropped his bag and ran into the dark, his cries twisted, gurgled, and cut off. Hayes snapped next, raising his rifle and firing into the tanks. Glass exploded, fluid spilled across the floor. Something dragged itself out, boneless and wrong, and fell on him. Morales opened fire until the belt ran dry. Shadows swarmed him before his last curse left his throat. Corridors bent the wrong way. Stairwells stretched longer with each step. The whispers chased us, promising things. Stay. Forever. Become. Reeves shoved me forward, steady even then. At the first landing, something seized him. A hand, or something longer than a hand, dragging him back. He fired once, twice. His eyes locked on mine. "Run," he said, and then he was gone. I don't remember climbing the rest of the way out. I only remember bursting into the storm, the cold air slamming into me, the beacon still pulsing red above the doors like a living heartbeat. I collapsed, screaming into the night, until the helicopter came. They don't believe me now. They tell me I was found alone, that the SOS beacon is silent, that the coordinates point to nothing but solid rock, that no bunker exists. But I know what I saw. I know what I heard. And at night, when the house is still and the dark is heavy, I hear it again. The whisper. My name. Carter.